Good morning and welcome to another episode of Saturday Morning with Sam. I am Sam Gaylord, managing partner at Gaylord Pop and disability litigator in the state of New Jersey, representing injured workers in the areas of workers' compensation, Social Security disability, and disability pension appeals. And good morning and welcome to the first episode in our new humble abode, actually from my office. We've done a couple of these where it's been sort of a little tour of the office. And looking at this, I definitely need to put some stuff on the walls because it's completely flushing this out. Hey, Mario, good morning. So I will, because we don't need to see how shiny that is up there. So we're going to have to get some stuff on the walls this week, I think. I want to say thank you to everybody. It is awesome. The amount of individuals that and comments that have come in with regards to our new building and everything that's going on. So certainly I thank everybody for all of those. It is tremendously appreciated. We are getting organized. We are getting there. Signs are going up. People are now knowing where we are. So all of the little craziness things are sort of getting resolved as we're walking through the experience. So it has been chaotic. It is a blast. Certainly, this is something that is a great achievement for me. And the best part is last night I had the opportunity to be with Ron Freeland on radio. And what I indicated to him was the advantage we now have in this space is that we're able to more actively interact with the community and offer for meetings or for different organized events, things of that nature, either a conference room or an area where people can get together, and it just allows Gaylord Pop to sort of be in a better position to be much more involved with the community. And as Brian points out, Gaylord Pop for many years has been intimately involved with Brian Blakely, who does a dinner and a movie for the homeless. And that event is July 16th this year. And so next Saturday afternoon, their committee is coming to our office so that they can meet and do their whatever they need to do, final preparation for that event. So it just really allows us to be much more actively involved in the community, and we're super thrilled for that opportunity. So thank you. And I just wanted to let everybody know how much I certainly appreciate all of the well wishes and the comments. It is very heartfelt. So thank you. Also, we're here now again. It's Saturday Morning with Sam, and we should actually talk about a few things. This past week, I had a very, very unique experience with a client, and I just wanted to, because it really sort of emphasizes some of the things that I've been talking about. So I wanted to sort of go through that with you guys. And the issue was that we had, for a long period of time, with this particular client, indicated that they were having certain difficulties. And when we got together and we talked, it turned out that from a point of view, we were actually, or had been actually, talking about apples and oranges. So why that is relevant to what we talk about is that it goes back to the basic premise of that it's one of the most important things with, as attorneys representing clients, is the, hey, good morning, Darlene, is the ability to make sure that you're as best as possible on the same page. And so communications certainly is one of the most important factors. In my, let's say, day-to-day operation, for me personally, where every morning I'm in some court, and certainly if that bleeds over because, you know, a judge can't get out of their seat to get things done fast enough, and so I wind up being here in the afternoon, come back to the office, now there are appointments, and you try and get to everything during the course of the day. And then the next thing you know, you look up and it's, holy cow, it's the 5:30, 6 o'clock already. And where did that day go? And oh, by the way, you got to make sure you're ready for the next day and so on and so forth. And that's not a complaint, but it just amounts to the fact that not every single day is the ability to get to every single phone call to get back to clients within that 10-hour window. And we also have staff that are enormously resourceful and helpful to our clients. And from paralegals to my office manager, paralegals to the staff. So it's a team effort. And so, but the most important thing, not only for us as a law firm, but certainly, I guess, in life in general, is to make sure that there's that clear communication. Because as somebody just said, running really fast in the wrong direction is not going to get you where you want to go. So it's going to get you somewhere where you don't want to be very, very quickly. So the idea is that after sitting with this client, reconnecting in terms of, okay, now we know where to go. Now we can move that case forward very quickly. So the most important, or one of the most important things when we are dealing with workers' compensation, Social Security disability, or disability pensions, is to make sure that there are clear communications in terms of what it is you actually want and what it is that you are actually looking to get. And what I mean by that is, as a perfect example, is that sometimes when I advise somebody to apply for a certain pension, the pension boards try to, or the counselors try to convince them that they should be applying for something else. Now, it's not because the counselors are intentionally trying to mess with somebody, but they just don't understand. Hey, good morning, Sherry. They don't understand the interaction or the bigger picture, and how what I'm advising somebody to do is very focused on how other dominoes are going to fall. All they see is just their little world and, okay, this is what you should do. Again, if that were the only thing, then that might be the right answer. But that one of the, that's okay, we're here. One of the most important things, though, is that, again, the premise of what I'm doing is not only to give out the information, but to also make sure that we try and equip you to ask the right questions. Because if you run in the wrong direction, but really quickly, you're going to get somewhere, but it's not going to be where you want to go. If you ask all the wrong questions, you're going to get answers, but you're just not going to be the answers that you need in order to get done what you have to get done. So one of the most important things in terms of when you're getting information from people is the communication and making sure that you're getting the right questions asked so that you potentially get the right answers. Now, in these three areas, workers' comp, Social Security, and disability pensions, we're going to have these Saturday morning conversations, and I'm certainly going to provide you the right information. But what I love is the fact that during the course of a week, I'm getting emails, or I'm getting questions, even through the Facebook itself, where I am being asked very specific questions, and then it requires sort of, well, what are you really asking, kind of thing. And again, there's where it gets fuzzy. So it's very important that as you go through these processes, comp or Social Security or pensions, that you make sure that you are always asking questions. The sort of the Jiminy Cricket in the back of your head scratching and like, well, gee, I'd really like to know the answer to that. If you think that long enough, then, just ask the question. The important thing is that if it doesn't sound right, if it doesn't smell right, it's not right. And I'll give you another example of that. So recently I met with a client, and they were so afraid to meet with a new attorney because their attorney had told them that if they switched lawyers, that they would have to pay a fee. So what that got interpreted as was that the client, would actually have to write a check to the lawyer. And I was able to put that client at ease, because what I explained and the way it works is that there's one overall fee, and that out of that overall fee, a portion of that will go back to the old lawyer, but that the total fee doesn't change. So as an example, in workers' compensation, the overall attorney's fee is 20%. You get an award, you get money, the attorney's going to get 20%. Well, then the lawyers can figure out the percentages in terms of who gets what. It's not your responsibility to figure that out, but the way it got interpreted was that this client thought that they were going to have to write a personal check to the lawyer. Now, I'm hopeful that the lawyer didn't make it seem much more like that, but I got the impression that that's probably what had happened, which is unethical in any number of ways. So with that, that potentially speaks volumes as to the type of attorney that this client had originally. But for our purposes, the example I'm giving is just one of just the fact that it's about communication. It's about being as clear as you can. And again, what I find is, certainly after now 23 plus years of doing this, is that I have a style and I have a way of explaining things that I think people get, but that a lot of attorneys I listen to, if I were a client listening to them, I would walk out of a meeting and I'd be sort of like that dog thing, like, huh? Because a lot of lawyers think that just because they're an attorney, they need to talk with big words and they need to sound fancy. And I think that's just ridiculous. So to me, I want to make sure when somebody walks out, if they can explain to me what it is that I just explained to them, then that means I've done my job. Because I don't want clients of mine walking out of my meeting with them thinking to themselves, what did he just say? That's no good. And for me, it then would create the need to have another meeting. So I want to make sure that if we're meeting, let's get it done correctly. And then that way it's better for everyone. So just one of the issues that I wanted to raise this week. The other one was the other, I guess the question that Sherry was asking is, for purposes of workers' compensation, is there any real limit to the number of times that a case can get reopened? So when a workers' compensation case happens and the case settles for what's called a percentage of disability, whatever the particular body part, there's also the ability to reopen the case and get additional benefits. So it's like a circle. But as long as the case settles for a percentage of disability, there is the ability to continue to reopen that case for as many times as possible. There's no end to that. And eventually, if somebody is found to be totally disabled, that is, that they are disabled for the rest of their life, what that means is that they are just going to get paid by workers' compensation forever. And so there's there would be no need to reopen the case, because at that point, the insurance company is paying that person forever anyways. And the insurance company remains responsible for medical treatment that's associated with the work accident. So, but anyway, so communication is the most important thing. And then the second thing that I wanted to also address was, with any of these processes, one of the most important things that I have found to do, or that I advise clients, is to just write things down in the terms of dates, places, people that you're talking to, because it just makes it very helpful. I'll say to somebody, well, they'll say, well, I spoke to the adjuster. I'll say, great. What's the phone number? I don't know. Or they'll say, here's the number. I said, okay, what was the name of the person? I don't remember. So it becomes, sure, Mario. So it becomes an issue where I just want people to be able to identify who they're talking to, so that when I start the investigation, you're welcome, Sherry. There's no jump to my having to start at the beginning. I can at least start with the right person and the right phone number, and then put it from there. So writing things down in terms of, and this also becomes important when people, clients will say, well, on this date, this happened, this date, this happened, this date, that happened. That's great, because then you can point to specific things, and then you can, request things like, well, I need the time cards for this, and this date. I need payroll records. I need who else was there. And you can start, doing an investigation, whereas, well, I think it was, or kind of, or whatnot. So it sort of falls under the big umbrella of communication, but if you're writing things down in terms of how it works, then you're going to be in a better position to help me. And then, of course, then that allows me to be in a better position to help you. The question was asked, what if workers' comp denies everything? And that happens quite a bit, more and more, I think. But it usually will happen if somebody has what we've talked about as being an occupational claim. So you can have a specific accident. I slipped, I fall, I hurt myself. Yeah, right after the fall, right after the summer. So you can slip and fall and hurt yourself, date, time, place, there it is. That's easy. But if I repetitively do a job over and over and over again for 5 years, 10 years, whatever period of time, and that causes me to have a medical problem, that should be covered by workers' comp. The insurance companies by themselves are going to deny that right out of the gate, because they're going to be like, oh, that's not related, which is typical. But what we have to do at that point is, usually we get to a position where we can resolve the case, and the case will resolve in one of two ways. Either it'll resolve where the insurance company will become responsible, or it'll resolve where they're going to make a payment of money and the case will go away. But that's got to be in lieu of the value of that injury. So that's how that will play out. If the denial of benefits happens, then if there are alternative means to get medical treatment and to be getting money while somebody is receiving that medical treatment, then we'll wait till the end and litigate the issue at the end. And if need be, and if the insurance company doesn't make an appropriate offer, that is to settle the case, then we're going to have a trial and let the chips fall where they may. And, at trial, some you win, some you lose. And, obviously for our clients, if we have to try a case, we try cases all the time. So that's not something that we're uncomfortable doing. But certainly for our clients, we'd rather go in with something that we can recommend, but that's a certainty, versus the uncertainty of trial, because a trial, you just never know what it's like. Life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Try a case that you think's a winner and you could lose. Try a case you think's an absolute loser, you could win. And that's going to be the judge and the way the trial plays out. It happens all the time. So those are the possibilities, that if an insurance company is denying your case, yes, there's a mechanism to get that resolved, but sometimes it does take longer because of the particulars of getting it to that point where either it's going to settle for the right amount of money, or you're going to have to wind up having a trial. So thanks. So anyway, so next week, I will, obviously, now having seen this from my office for the very first time, I will have some things on the wall to, again, try and get rid of some of this brightness that's on me. But I want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you very much for joining me this morning. I appreciate it. This is Saturday Morning with Sam. I am Sam Gaylord, managing partner at Gaylord Pop and disability litigator in the state of New Jersey, representing injured workers in the areas of workers' compensation, Social Security, disability, and disability pension appeals. And I want to say thank you. I appreciate everybody joining me. Please make sure that you send in your questions during the week. Please make sure that you share this, because the more people that we get the opportunity to get this to, the more people who are going to have the right information, and the more people that I can actually help. So you can get to me either through my email, which is sgaylord@gaylordpop.com, sgaylord@gaylordpop.com, or give me a call at 609-771-8611, 609-771-8611. Or if you go to our website, thanks, Sherry. www.gaylordpop.com, www.gaylordpop.com. There's a whole bunch of videos, and they answer some of these questions. So you might have a question that's there that's already answered. But certainly, if not, please contact me. I would love to make sure that we answer those questions, because I guarantee you there are other people out there who have the exact same question. So send them in, and I'll get to them. And I will see everybody next Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Saturday with Sam. I'm Sam Gaylord, managing partner at Gaylord Pop. I wish everybody a great weekend. The sun is out, which is the first time in a week. So I hope everybody gets a chance to enjoy that. And with that, I want to say thank you and goodbye. And I'll talk to everybody next Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. Bye now.